Poor Allie, dude. Poor Allie. I gotta say, like the conversation that we were just having, right, about like black individuals, that doesn't impact Allie because she was white. But I just know that grandma, like she even went into about the whole "don't spread your legs" type of thing with abortion and saying that she doesn't even trust her own granddaughter. Poor Allie. Poor Allie, man. I mean, listen, my parents are both Trump supporters, but they love me. They respect me. They trust me. They think I'm intelligent. They'll hear me out for what I have to say, and they won't call me crazy. And they're not just saying things that are batshit off the wall insane. Like that is just like a whole different realm from even like my own family situation. And I'm like, my family situation is pretty deep in the red. So, I mean, that is just crazy. Welcome in, Angry Long Island Vet. Do you support Trump?
I do.
All right, before we hop into the debate, there's a couple people I got to thank here. Max, oh my goodness, Max, thank you for the $100 super chat over on YouTube. Thank you so much, Max. If we could please have everybody watching the stream right now, show some love to Max down below in the comment section. That would mean so much to me. Thank you, Max. Max said, "Why is she acting like she knows all of Kamala Harris's genetic history? That is the most definitely a white woman behind the screen trying to dictate what is black and isn't coming from a black person." No, it's just hate. It's just trying to use a black woman's blackness against her. It's just it's a version, a variant of racism. When you really put a little bit of thought into it, it becomes clear that that is just a variation of racism, a variation of a way to use a black woman's blackness against her without sounding like a member of the KKK. You know what I mean? It is. But I appreciate you for the love, Max. That is incredibly kind of you. Everybody, please show some love to Max down below. Let's get at least 1,000 Max W's down below in that chat. And then also Carly, 14 minutes ago with the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate that, Carly. Everybody, please show some love to Carly down below in that comment section. Carly says, "Thanks for standing up for us and what is right. We appreciate you so much. Love watching all of your debates." Carly, I'm so thankful to have you in here with us for the day. I hope that you're enjoying the streams, and I hope you have a good rest of your day now. Everybody, please show some love to Carly. Thank you once again for the $20. And then Heidi with the $20 as well, saying, "Dean, keep fighting that good fight. I'm going to never stop. I love what I do, Heidi, and I appreciate you so much for being in here." Let's get 200 Heidis as well. 200 Heidis down below in that chat. Thank you so much, Heidi. And Long Island Vet, there's a handful of other donations I could read off here, but I want to allow you to start your argument. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, he's good for the economy. For instance, the gas prices are down. The soccer market is going pretty well, wouldn't you say?
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, if you just want to say, well, there's been some trends in the economy that we've been able to see over the course of the last 6 months, and we're just going to blame them on him, in the same way that you blame it on him for like gas prices going down by $1 or so, do you blame?
Well, so you already put the words in my mouth. That's cool.
I mean, that was your argument, yes.
That was pretty fast of you.
That was your argument, yes.
Yes. What?
That whatever happens in the economy is his fault. Like gas prices going down, you attribute that to him because it happened in the country while he's president.
Sure, let's go with that.
Okay, so I'm not putting any words in your mouth. So why did you say I'm putting words in your mouth?
So I didn't say that. Did I say that specifically?
Yes.
Verbatim?
Pretty much, yeah. Let's go to roll it back.
Can you rewind and play it?
Move on to the next guest.
I'm pretty sure that I didn't say that.
And Long Island Vet, there's a handful of other donations I could read off here, but I want to allow you to start your argument. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, he's good for the economy. For instance, the gas prices are down. The soccer market is going pretty well, wouldn't you say?
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, if you just want to say, well, there's been some trends in the economy that we've been able to see over the course of the last 6 months, and we're just going to blame them on him, in the same way that you blame it on him for like gas prices going down by $1 or so, do you blame?
Well, so you already put the words in my mouth. That's cool.
I mean, that was not your.
So
was your argument.
where did I say blame?
I said putting.
I didn't hear blame in there. Blame, but I didn't hear the word blame, so it seems like you are putting words in my mouth.
So
you got to be more detailed.
The word blame just represents the fact that you think he caused it. That's what the word blame is. You know, like if I have a 3-year-old toddler and I wake up in the morning and there's like crayons scribbled on the wall and I blame it on my toddler, all that I'm saying is I'm attributing the crayon on the wall to my toddler. So you attributed the price of gas over the course of the last 7 months to Trump, meaning you blamed it on Trump. That's how we use the word.
Okay, but that's not what I said. I didn't say blame though.
But
so
it means the same thing. That is incredibly specific.
Okay, got it. So basically, you're changing the word, but you're saying I said that word. Got it.
No, I'm using a different word to represent the same proposition.
So I literally just did what you did,
It's a
I
synonym.
said you're taking the word as you said I was blaming.
Can you agree?
Yeah.
Can you agree that I used a synonym?
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go
No, no,
on with
no.
this.
Can you agree that I used a synonym?
Sure.
Okay, so if you could agree that I used a synonym, that I didn't put words in your mouth, because a phrase you put words in my mouth would represent a misrepresentation of your view, not a correct representation of your view. I'm not going to repeat every single word that you said back to you. I'm going to reframe your view in a way in which I understand it, or in a way in which I would say it. And this doesn't represent me putting words in your mouth, because the phrase, me putting words in your mouth, typically purports a misrepresentation of your view, loading it, misrepresenting it, and then depicting as if that was what you shared. But because I did not incorrectly represent your view, and I rather correctly purported it with my own wording, that would not be me putting words in your mouth.
Sure.
Yeah, king of semantics. How does it feel to get out semantic? Out semanticked. Yeah,
Oh.
I'm coining that. Out semanticked.
All right. Calm down. Take a vape. Is that a pretend vape?
It's an anxiety pit.
It's a vape. See, I'm putting words in your mouth. How do you like that?
Exactly. You're misrepresenting what it actually
No,
is.
I'm not. No, I'm doing. You're taking a vape.
No, it's
It's
not.
fine.
It's an anxiety pit.
It's a vape. It's fine.
No,
It's okay.
It's an anxiety pit.
That's what I said.
No, you said vape.
No, that's what I said. Vape. That's right.
But that's different
taking a
from
vape.
what an anxiety pit is.
No, it doesn't.
Well, I'm actually, so I typically troll and like I act like I'm actually getting successfully rage baited because it's funny, but I'm not going to give you the
Okay.
satisfaction because I know that you don't have the media literacy in order to tell that I'm joking. So like, if you were less insufferable, then I'd play into it. But
Certainly.
because you're so
Whatever
insufferable,
floats
I
your
don't
boat.
want to give you that
Whatever
satisfaction.
floats you.
Now we're going to go back to your original argument. You told us that you basically think that he's caused the macroeconomic trends that we've seen in the country because we've seen slightly lower gas prices on average. This means that he must cause the slightly lower gas prices on average. I just want to be able to discern here that you're willing to stay consistent in your logic. Another macroeconomic trend that we've seen over the course of the last 7 months is one, long-term unemployment has gone to its highest point, excluding the pandemic, since 2017. And two, the price of nearly every single grocery has increased in the last 7 months. So in the same way that you think he's caused lower gas prices, do you also think that he's caused long-term unemployment to hit a high excluding the pandemic and for inflation to rise for the price of nearly every single grocery product?
I absolutely agree with you. I think there's a big, massive unemployment issue, especially with all the illegal immigrants getting kicked out. Just remind me, when you do these charts, do we talk about illegal and legal employment, or what? Or is it combined?
Are you telling me if undocumented immigrants are included within labor statistics? Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. So, what portion of the illegal immigrants are losing their jobs compared to U.S. citizens?
When you say what portion of the unemployment we've seen in the last 7 months?
Just say I don't know. It's fine.
Has been undocumented immigrants losing their
Just
jobs?
say I don't know. It's fine.
Well, I just want to be clear on the question that you're asking. Is that the question that you're asking?
So I'll ask it again, so your massive brain can understand this.
Okay.
So when you do these unemployment charts, right? Okay. Do they count legal and illegal in the same chart?
Yeah. So undocumented immigrants that are
So-
in
so
our economy
when-
that can
so-
work are included in
So
unemployment
it wouldn't be too far off to say that a lot of the unemployment could be on maybe the illegal side.
Why would we say that when they're more likely to participate in the labor force?
Oh, Jesus Christ! I thought you were smart.
Well, I mean, I think
So,
that you're
again-
just.
again,
I think I'm smarter than you know because
we both say they're in the same fucking chart. So again, going by the same fucking chart, how many jobs are being lost with legal citizens and illegal?
like what is the level of the unemployment that we could attribute to undocumented immigrants in the last couple months? So I'm unsure because I've only looked at macro charts. However, we could use like lines of inductive reasoning here to
Of
conclude.
course, you're unsure.
Right, of course I'm unsure because I'm not sure that the Bureau of Labor Statistics like specifically reports undocumented immigrants for undocumented.
I wonder
immigrants.
why that is.
I don't know. Probably because it's not like a relevant statistic for like fiscal policy. If that makes any sense, just like
You
macro
don't think
level.
it's relevant towards U.S. citizens?
I don't think it's relevant towards fiscal policy. Like unemployment stats
Uh,
that are going to be relevant towards fiscal policy are going to be like
I like how you
overall
always.
unemployment, unemployment, long-term unemployment overall, long-term employment overall, maybe unemployment broken down into like race categories, etc. So we could design fiscal policy to like help like disproportionately like individuals that are prosecuted or oppressed and can't get a job because of various like reasons related to systemic racism, etc. But like specifically like unemployment statistics surrounding undocumented immigrants, I don't know if like they're like super relevant to like our government and designing fiscal policy. Maybe like another motivation that can be is because our government doesn't want you to know how many undocumented immigrants are employed. Like they're more likely to be employed and to work a job than citizens because more of them are of working age. Like, I mean, maybe that's why I don't see how this is relevant to, like the original argument that I purported. I'm pretty sure you're just trying to draw astray here to put off giving me a response.
Well, I'd love to give you a response without being cut off.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so Gavin Newsom, just to give you an example, recently went on the Sean Ryan show and admitted to Sean Ryan that 51% of the construction employment in California is solely through illegal immigration.
Okay.
In other words, so basically 51% are taking the jobs of everyday citizens. There's also a correlation with that in the increase of homelessness over in California. So, a lot of those homeless people could have used those jobs. You can tell me, I know you're going to say, oh, you think any American's going to take those jobs? That's bullshit. That's a bullshit fallacy. So that's just one example of why those statistics would be important.
So if you're asking for like specific employment statistics of where undocumented immigrants are working, which is different than overall unemployment statistics, we do track those for undocumented immigrants. Like for instance, the Center on American Progress tells us that nationwide, one out of
But
every
that's not the
seven.
one you're comparing. That's not the one you're comparing.
So
Though.
you asked me to
You were
not
talking
interrupt
about
you,
what
so
was
I will
the one
ask
you
you
were
not to
comparing?
interrupt me either.
All right, fair enough.
So once again, like trying to like come to conclusions about in which industries undocumented immigrants are working. We do track those statistics. Like for instance, the Center on American Progress tells us that one out of every seven construction workers nationwide are undocumented immigrants. But now everybody in my chat is telling me that you're a veteran and that you've been up here before. And I think that you have been up here before. But before I move on, I want to ask you a very specific question as a veteran, and a very hard-headed, disingenuous veteran at that. I just want you to be able to contradict your own oath to defend your king, right? So you took an oath to uphold and to protect the Constitution, meaning that you would never support anything or anybody that launched an attack on the Constitution. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit of a lesson in constitutional law and how Donald Trump has launched an attack on it. So on January 20th of this year, the day he was inaugurated, he signed Executive Order number 14160 into law. And Executive Order number 14160 specifically contradicted the 14th Amendment. So the first clause of the 14th Amendment, if you didn't know, which is fine, I'll give you an education, guarantees birthright citizenship to anybody born on American soil, given that they're subject to the jurisdiction of American law, excluding foreign diplomats, militant insurgents, individuals of that kind. Now, however, it has been long adjudicated that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. law. We could reference Supreme Court cases like Plyer v. Doe in the 1990s that actually specifically adjudicated this, right? However, in his executive order, he said that the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil do not have a right to birthright citizenship, meaning that this EO explicitly contradicted the 14th Amendment, meaning that he tried to consolidate power to him in the federal branch of the government, and he attempted to take that power away from the Constitution in order to circumnavigate it and play king. You as a veteran that was willing to put your life on the line to defend and protect the Constitution should look at this as a grave threat and as a massive token of disrespect to what you did when you were serving and to what every other veteran has done when they served, or what every active military service member did when they lost their life, such as my great-grandfather, who was reported missing in action in the Vietnam War. So how does that make you feel, sir? Because your two options now are to ground yourself, come to reality, stop being a dick, and say, Dean, you're right, or to contradict every value that I bet you thought you've stood for since you probably joined the service at around 18.
I'm just waiting for you to finish. Can you hear me? I was just waiting for you to finish. Are you done? Subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Does not cover children of illegal immigrants or temporary visitors.
Okay.
And by the way,
does.
No, don't interrupt me. So
give me a legal argument for that, sir.
Don't interrupt me.
I just want an argument.
Don't interrupt me.
You're not going to give me an argument. Cute.
So am I to understand that future life, right? They have rights, right?
Future life?
Yeah. So like the kids that aren't born, that are say pregnant, say a mom's pregnant and the kid's still in the womb. Does that kid have rights?
Federally, no.
Careful, you might want to pick that up, buddy. Oh, so federally it doesn't have rights?
Yes.
But it has some rights, right?
No.
No, it doesn't have any rights.
Yeah, federally, no.
Okay. So then that kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
No, because we're talking about children that are born. Remember, birth, right? Citizenship?
Yeah, and I already brought up that point. Subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Does not cover children of illegal immigrants or temporary visitors.
Okay, according to whom?
He's challenging modern interpretation, which you guys love to do, is interpret things.
This modern interpretation is based upon or predicated based on what case law?
Certainly. One sec.
Because I could give you the case law that proves you wrong.
All right, give me the case law.
Yeah, for sure.
Educate me, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. So Plier v. Doe was a court case that made its way all the way to SCOTUS in the 1980s. And now Plier v. Doe started with a group of undocumented immigrants suing their state government because their children, who were also undocumented immigrants, were not given free access to pre-K through 12th grade education in the American schooling district and American school districts. Now, the undocumented immigrants argued that even though they're undocumented immigrants, they're still entitled to equal protections under the eyes of the law because of the second clause of the 14th Amendment, which would be the Equal Protections Clause. And they argued that they're entitled to these constitutional protections, and this court case made it all the way to SCOTUS, where SCOTUS agreed that they were entitled to equal protections under the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th Amendment. Now, why am I bringing this ruling from SCOTUS up to determine if they are subject or are not subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S.? Well, in the same way, the Birthright Citizenship Clause of the 14th Amendment only gives that protection of birthright citizenship to those that are subject to the jurisdiction of our law, so does the Equal Protections Clause. It says that you are only guaranteed this protection if you are subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. So, when SCOTUS made their ruling on Plier v. Doe, they concluded that yes, undocumented immigrants do have equal protections under U.S. law, meaning yes, undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction of U.S. law. There's case law number one. Now I'm going to give you a history lesson for case law number two. We're going to go all the way back to 1898 to a SCOTUS ruling that was titled The United States versus Kim Wong. Okay, and in this court case, they were trying to determine of these two immigrants that had a child on American soil, if that child was subject to birthright citizenship. And they ruled that he does have birthright citizenship. But the more important part of the U.S. versus Kim Wong SCOTUS ruling in the 19th century was that the justices strictly defined what subject to the jurisdiction of U.S. law even means. They gave it very clear and explicit parameters. They said that this phrase means subject to U.S. law, okay? And they gave 3 categories of people that were not subject to the jurisdiction of U.S. law. They said foreign diplomats. Well, if you're a diplomat in America, you can't be prosecuted for most U.S. laws, therefore you're not subject to the jurisdiction of the U.S. If you're an invading militant force from an army of another country, you're trying to start a war, we're not going to be able to persecute you with our laws because we're fighting you at war, therefore you are not subject to the jurisdiction of law, and if you have a kid on American soil, they're not a citizen. And then their third category was indigenous Americans. Now, the first 2 categories have never been contested by federal law or a new SCOTUS ruling, meaning that they still stand as the current interpretation of what subject to the jurisdiction thereof even means. Now, that third category of indigenous Americans was contested and updated by a federal law in the beginning of the 20th century. So because of what the SCOTUS interpretation of what subject to the jurisdiction thereof was set as a precedent in the U.S. versus Kim Wong case in 1898, and the updated ruling reaffirming that undocumented immigrants specifically are subject to the jurisdiction thereof in Plyer v. Doe in the 1980s, all that this means today is that your claim that undocumented immigrants are not subject to the jurisdiction thereof, thereby don't qualify for birthright citizenship, is 1, ahistorical, 2, has no case law to demonstrate that it is the case, and 3, is just a very sour and unintelligent take at attempting to justify the tyranny of a wannabe king. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That's cute. Plyer versus Doe, equal protection is about schooling, not citizenship. Wong Kim Ark covered legal residents, not illegals. And the indigenous shows jurisdiction matters for birthright citizenship.
So you just said that Plyer v. Doe covered schooling, not citizenship? Well, in order for them to have protected access to schooling, it means that the court must have adjudicated that they had protected access under the Equal Protections Clause of the 14th, which also uses the phrase subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So when they ruled that undocumented immigrants do have access and protection under this clause, by proxy, this necessarily entails that they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Because if they weren't subject to the jurisdiction thereof, then they wouldn't have had equal protections. And if they didn't have equal protections, then the court wouldn't have ruled that their children that were also undocumented immigrants had a claim to go to school for free. That's cute.
So it seems we got common ground. You're interpreting something, and I'm interpreting something.
No, SCOTUS is interpreting it. Not me, not you, SCOTUS.
Why me? What did SCOTUS do for each of those cases?
Yeah,
again.
I just told you. I mean, I'll tell you a third
And
time.
I just told you
Let me-
too.
let me-
Well, it's not relevant.
No, you
Don't drop your vape.
You said
Don't
that
drop
it
your
was.
vape,
You
buddy.
said that it wasn't relevant because that was an adjudication on schooling, not citizenship. Right? That was your argument, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I agree.
Don't drop your vape.
It was a ruling on schooling,
You look a little
not
flustered.
citizenship. I'm actually not flustered at all, sir. You seem flustered.
seem
You're the
a
one
little
interrupting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I agree. That was a ruling on schooling, not citizenship. But the reason why it still matters is, once again, I'll repeat this for my last time, and everybody on YouTube, just take a note of the timestamp. So if this guy just asks for a 4th time, I could just literally replay the live stream. So this is the last time I'll repeat it, but if you need me to replay it, I will. So once again, the reason why the Plyer v. Doe ruling matters is because it included the court coming to the conclusion that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's all. They had to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof of U.S. law in order to have protections under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th. And if they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof, this also means their children born on American soil have birthright citizenship. Let's start there. I also have some pushback against you for your claims about the Wong Kim Ark case in 1898, where you grossly misinterpreted me there too. But we'll start with the Plyer v. Doe case. Take it away, sir.
I'm sorry. Can you play it for me?
Oh my goodness gracious. You are all over the place, sir. I'm gonna need you to pay attention. I feel like a school teacher. You know, you came up here with an attitude and we're leaving as if I'm a teacher in school. Let's go ahead and replay that. Stream. So this is the last time I'll repeat it, but if you need me to replay it, I will. So once again, the reason why the Plyer v. Doe ruling matters is because it included the court coming to the conclusion that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. That's all. They had to be subject to the jurisdiction thereof of U.S. law in order to have protections under the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th. And if they're subject to the jurisdiction thereof, this also means their children born on American soil have birthright citizenship. There you go.
Subject to U.S. law does not automatically grant citizenship.
It does if you're born in the country.
Jesus Christ. I thought you were smart. Never mind.
I am smart.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I mean, I just gave you case law from SCOTUS to prove you wrong. I think I'm a pretty intelligent guy. You're the one that made me replay that 4 times. So what was my issue with the argument there?
Your point is that it has equal protection under the subject thereof. That doesn't grant citizenship. It's two separate things.
Okay, what are the two separate things?
Holy shit, Knuckles. Why don't you tell me, buddy?
Yeah, being a person.
Before you drop your vape again.
Yeah,
Before you drop your vape again.
The two necessary conditions of the birthright citizenship clause of the 14th Amendment is being a person and being subject to the jurisdiction of thereof. Do you need me to prove this to you by reading you off the amendment? How about we do that? Oh my goodness gracious. I will prove to you that those are the only two necessary conditions in order to claim birthright citizenship by literally reading you off the amendment. Is that fair? Let me know. Just let me know if that's fair.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, here's Section 1 of Amendment 14, ratified by Congress in 1865. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the states wherein they reside. Meaning that the two conditions, right, that must be met in order for you to have birthright citizenship are going to be a person that is born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Okay, I gave you the case law set precedent in Plyer v. Doe to demonstrate that undocumented immigrants are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. So then the only other necessary criteria of said amendment that they would have to meet is just being a person that is born here. Okay, so we could agree that the children of undocumented immigrants born on American soil are born on American soil. We could agree via the case law set forth by Plyer v. Doe in the 90s that they are subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Can we agree that they're a person?
Subject to U.S. law doesn't automatically satisfy the 14th Amendment citizenship.
It's being subject to the jurisdiction thereof.
Full and permanent allegiance, not temporary or unlawful.
I just read off to you the amendment. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I literally just read off to you the amendment. Like, there's nowhere else to go from here. You are literally changing the amendment. Like, that's what you're doing. You're changing the amendment. I just read it off to you.
Remind me, can amendments be changed?
Yeah, through ratification in Congress, not by an executive order signed in by the president. That's why I said he was circumnavigating the powers vested in Congress to ratify and change the Constitution and attempting to consolidate power to the executive branch of the government.
To actually do mass deportation, which is actually thanks to the Democrats for that one.
I don't even know what you just said, but it wasn't responding to what I said about why undocumented immigrants do and their children born on American soil. Do you have a claim?
Realistically, if you think about it, this is actually the Democrats' own law that he's using under Bill Clinton in 1996 or 1993. I could be wrong.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna entertain your pivot.
So it's really your own laws that he's actually using to enforce the mass deportation. And by the way, who was the best president in the last 5 presidents?
I don't know why you're pivoting. We're still talking about if
No,
the
no,
children
just
of
if
undocumented
you
immigrants
answer
born
that,
on American
if
soil
you
have
could just
birthright
simply
citizenship.
answer that one question for me.
Yeah, no, I'm literally not going to because it's a deflection.
Okay, then okay, then I'm literally not gonna continue this because I already give you multiple reasons why
You got cooked.
why
Okay, feel free to leave.
he's
You got cooked.
allowed to do this. And one,
No, you did.
again,
You lost, man. I get it.
I get it.
I get it. You got cooked.
He's the old Democratic law he's using, buddy.
Wait, what
If it
Democrat
wasn't
law
for
was?
Bill Clinton,
Wait, I have a
he
question.
wouldn't be able to do this.
Oh, you're talking about mass deportation. See, I'm talking about birthright citizenship, and if the children born to undocumented immigrants on American soil have birthright citizenship. You've been contesting it this whole time, and I literally proved you wrong. I proved you wrong so fucking hard. You got absolutely obliterated. Either admit that you're wrong, admit that you're wrong, admit that Donald Trump has launched an attack on the U.S. Constitution, or leave like that. Dude got absolutely broiled. Oh my God. That has to be like one of the most definitive cooks ever. And I'm so happy it happened to him because he was annoying. And he got charred, he got broiled, he got cooked, and then he dipped. What a satisfying feeling. I love when I have that. The feeling that I have right now is so satisfying, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Now, we're going to move on to the next guest. Let's go and get that next guest.